Hi guys, welcome to 𝐒𝐢𝐬 𝐔𝐊 𝐑𝐄𝐕𝐈𝐄𝐿 Simulator today, and I thought it might be helpful for some of you if I put a quick tutorial up just explaining how to set up your controller, your wheel and your additional components like head tracking or whatever. Please hit the like button and leave us a comment if it does help you out, because it really helps us with YouTube. And also, if you have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll do what I can to help you out. You don't have to have a full sim rig like I have got here, very fortunate to have that. Review coming on the Track Racer TR8 very soon, but I have a G29 there and a 𝐒𝐲𝗍 side panel. Now if you can get hold of those two, then I think you're well on your way to having a very immersive experience. You don't need to have the 𝐒𝐲𝗍 side panel. For years I just had a wireless numpad which worked absolutely brilliantly. Now depending on the game you might be limited somewhat to what you can do with that, but on the most part it will work fine. Finally, I do recommend that you have a handheld controller of some sort. It just helps walking around when you're not in the bus and makes life a lot easier for you overall. So, my recommendation to you, if you've already got Bus Sim 21, is to jump into the sandbox mode. That way you won't be harassed by anybody. Pick yourself a bus of your choosing and just go and jump in it and drive around for 10 minutes and see what does what. Now, the Xbox 360 controller is already pre-configured, so you're not really going to have to do much with that. But over time, obviously, you're going to find that some buttons are bound to your wheel and the Xbox 360 controller, and you don't really need them both. So you'll probably tweak and change as you play more and more. The key things, of course, are starting the engine, accelerating, steering, changing gear, opening and closing the doors, lowering the ramp for the disabled passenger, and leaning the bus. And all of that is really simple to do. What might trip up a couple of people is that in order to add something like the 𝐒𝐲𝗍 side panel, you will actually need to go into the wheel configuration and bind the controller there. I think they ought to change wheel configuration to additional controller configuration or something, but I guess it works as it is. And what's really nice about this is you can double bind buttons. Now let me give you an example of where that could be useful. Every time you pull up to a bus stop, you'll need to apply the handbrake, lower the bus and open the doors. So you could bind all three of those actions to one button, pull up, hit square on your wheel, and all three of those things will happen instantaneously. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't tested that particular configuration, and hopefully they'll all work in the right order, because in order for the bus to lean, the doors must be closed and so on and so forth. So maybe a bit of trial and error there, but things like that can be quite useful. And maybe then you can have something bound on the back of that that allows you to put the ramp out as well. Maybe you want to put the ramp out every single time, whether you need it or not. Now, if you want head tracking in the game, again, that's really simple. You just set up your head tracking system as you would in any other game, and then just go into the menu, scroll all the way down to the bottom here, and just turn it on, and it will instantly activate. It works really well. If you're having any configuration issues with your head tracking in this game, then I highly recommend you check out my head tracking tutorial. I explain how you can utilize all of the access points and really get it working the way that you want it. Now, there are, for the first time ever, additional controller support tweaking options, and this is wonderful, because if you find that the steering is too abrasive or too sharp or too slow or too heavy, whatever the situation might be, you can tweak this and get it working as you like. Now, I haven't had to do anything with my G29. It instantly felt really, really good, but every bus will be different. Unfortunately, you cannot set up a controller configuration for each bus, but what you can do is just play with that until you feel like you've got a happy medium ground, and then I think what you're going to have to do is just choose which buses you like the feel of and which buses you don't. This is just brilliant. This gives us complete control over what we want to do, how and when. Really quick, really simple, didn't want to mess you about. Hopefully this tutorial has helped you out. If you have any problems or questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I'll do what I can to help you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.